Camera gear can be pretty expensive. So when I buy camera equipment, I try to stick in the medium price range, not too expensive and not too cheap. A really good place to look is on Facebook Marketplace. You can find some pretty sweet deals and gear that is in excellent condition. I try to buy gear that I actually need and can make money from. Otherwise, you just spend all that money and you actually don't use any of the gear. So today I want to show you guys what I have in my camera box and just go through what I use on personal shoots and also with client projects. The Canon EOS R. I've had this camera for a while now and I absolutely love it. I can't even mention one thing I don't like about it. Now I will later on upgrade and keep this camera as a secondary. This camera was released in 2018, so if you get one now then you can get it for pretty cheap. The Canon EOS M50. We recently picked up this camera for my girlfriend and I am really impressed with the video capabilities of this small and compact camera. Now we use this camera as a secondary on paid shoots and it's also great for vlogging. Now this is the kit lens that came with the camera. We also picked up a Voltrox adapter so I can use my EF lenses on this camera. Next up we have the Canon 18 to 55mm lens. This lens I got with my first camera, the Canon EOS 80D, and I film all my interviews with this lens. It's actually a super cheap lens and it performs really well. So I will always keep it in my camera case and use it for paid shoots, especially when doing interviews. When I first bought this Canon 50mm lens, I didn't really use it. A few months later, I decided, let me give it a shot and try and film something with it. And I really liked it when I got the hang of it. So I used it on most of my shoots, but it does have a few drawbacks, like when I want to shoot wide, you can't actually do that. You really have to go far back. And if you don't have space, like in a small room, you just can't use that lens at all. And that's why I decided to add the Samyang T3 14mm lens to my camera gear. The build quality of this lens is also solid for the price point that it is going for. I'm really glad I have this Canon 70 to 200mm lens in my box. I've used this lens a lot in the Kruger Park back in South Africa to film the wildlife. I've noticed something when shooting on the Canon EOS R in 4K, it does crop in the image, but I use that to my advantage, especially if I need that extra bit of zoom if the animals are further away. Now this lens is great for videography and photography. It's super fast as well. I think everyone that does videography needs a gimbal. Yes, you can get stable footage with handheld, but you will never be as stable as a gimbal. And especially if you have to shoot longer hours, a gimbal comes in handy. Now I personally use a gimbal, handheld and a tripod depending on what shots I want to get. Having a drone can really help you with client projects. If a client hears you have a drone, they tend to get excited and that just helps to build that bond with the client. It also helps you to get more dynamic shots for your video and it just gives it a different perspective. This is the DJI Spark Mini, the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus microphone. The quality this microphone produces is excellent and well worth the money I spent on it. You are currently hearing the audio coming from it as we speak. Last but not least is the laptop that I use to edit all my footage with. Now, if you are thinking about starting videography, just keep in mind that you will need a laptop or a PC to edit everything on. This is the Asus ROG Strix, and I use this laptop for all my editing purposes. It performs great, but when it comes to 4K footage, it does struggle a little bit. I hope this video helped you with your next camera gear purchase, or at least inspired you to pick up a camera and start filming. Thanks for sticking around. Please hit that like button, subscribe, it definitely helps. See you in the next video.